Tal, I must talk to you now because tomorrow is too late. If you scroll past this moment, if you silence this urgency in your spirit, you may silence the very warning God is sending to rescue your destiny. I am not here to entertain you. I am not here to impress you. I am here because there is a weight in the atmosphere, a divine pressure in the spirit, and God is calling your name with intensity. Something is shifting. Something is closing. Something is opening. And you cannot afford delay. There are moments in life when time is not neutral. There are hours that carry consequences. There are days that determine decades. And when God stirs urgency in your heart, it is not panic, it is protection. It is not fear, it is favor. The reason I must talk to you now is because procrastination has become your silent enemy. You keep saying, I will change tomorrow. You keep saying, I will obey tomorrow. You keep saying, I will pray harder tomorrow. But tomorrow has stolen more destinies than failure ever did. God does not speak in vain. When He presses something into your spirit, it is because a decision stands before you. There is a habit you must break. There is a call you must answer. There is a step you must take. There is a door you must close. And if you delay, you are not simply postponing action. You are postponing transformation. You are postponing breakthrough. You are postponing the alignment that heaven has already prepared for you. Listen carefully. The enemy of your purpose, Tal, is not always opposition. Sometimes it is hesitation. You are waiting for perfect conditions. You are waiting for full confidence. You are waiting for everyone to understand you. But God has never required perfect conditions to perform perfect plans. He requires obedience. He requires movement. He requires trust. There are people listening to me right now who feel stuck. You feel trapped in cycles. You feel like you are running but not advancing. And deep inside, you know what God has been telling you to do. You know the conversation you have been avoiding. You know the commitment you have been postponing. You know the discipline you have been resisting. And every day you delay, your spirit grows heavier. Tomorrow is too late because tomorrow is not promised. Life is fragile. Opportunities are perishable. Favor has seasons. When God opens a window, it is not open forever. When He convicts your heart, it is not to condemn you, but to correct your direction before damage multiplies. Some of you think you have more time. You think you can fix your character later. You think you can restore that relationship later. You think you can pursue your calling later. But later is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. Later has buried dreams. Later has destroyed marriages. Later has weakened faith. Later has turned passion into regret. You must understand something. Urgency is often the language of divine mercy. When you feel that internal shaking, that discomfort, that restless, conviction, it is not random. It is God knocking on the door of your attention. He is saying, wake up. He is saying, move. He is saying, return. He is saying, step forward. He is saying, do not waste what I have entrusted to you. There are people who are one decision away from freedom, one phone call away from reconciliation, one apology away from restoration, one act of courage away from breakthrough. But pride is whispering, wait. Fear is whispering, not now. Comfort is whispering, stay the same. And while those voices are soft, they are deadly. God does not bless stagnation. He blesses movement. Even if your step is small, it must be taken. Even if your voice trembles, it must speak. Even if your hands shake, they must build. Faith is not proven in intention. It is proven in action. I must talk to you because your spirit has been too quiet. You have allowed distractions to drown conviction. You have allowed entertainment to replace devotion. You have allowed comparison to steal your confidence, and all the while God has been patiently calling you higher. You were not created for mediocrity. You were not designed for compromise. You were not formed to live half awake. There is power in you that you have not accessed. There is courage in you that you have not exercised. There is discipline in you that you have not activated. And it will not activate by wishing. It will activate by deciding. Some of you are waiting for a sign. You are waiting for confirmation. You are waiting for a dramatic moment to convince you. But sometimes the greatest sign is the conviction you already feel. The fact that this message is stirring you is not coincidence. It is alignment. God speaks to urgency because He sees what you cannot see. He sees the trap ahead. He sees the opportunity approaching. He sees the consequences forming. And He loves you too much to remain silent. There is a pattern in your life that must break now. Not next month, not next year. Now, there is a compromise that must end now. There is a boundary that must be established now. There is a dream that must be pursued now. Because if you delay, doubt will grow roots. Fear will strengthen its grip. and your spirit will slowly accept what it was never meant to tolerate. You have been negotiating with your own destiny. You have been bargaining with your calling. You have been settling for less than what God designed. And deep inside, you feel the tension between who you are and who you are becoming. That tension is not punishment. It is potential. Tomorrow is too late because growth requires momentum. When conviction comes, it must be answered quickly. When clarity arrives, it must be acted upon swiftly. When truth is revealed, it must be embraced immediately. Delay weakens revelation. Action strengthens it. Some of you are carrying guilt from yesterday, and guilt has paralyzed your tomorrow. But God is not calling you to relieve your mistakes. He's calling you to respond to His mercy. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. But if you continue postponing change, you turn temporary failure into permanent limitation. There is urgency in your breath. Every inhale is evidence that God has extended your time. Every exhale is proof that time is leaving. You are living in a countdown whether you acknowledge it or not. The question is not whether time is passing. The question is whether you are progressing. You cannot afford another year of excuses. You cannot afford another season of drifting. You cannot afford another chapter of spiritual laziness. The cost is too high. The stakes are too great. The calling is too important. I must talk to you because your obedience affects more than you. There are people connected to your breakthrough. There are lives attached to your courage. There are generations impacted by your discipline. When you delay your growth, you delay their blessing. God placed influence in you intentionally. Your words matter. Your decisions matter. Your integrity matters. And every time you choose comfort over conviction, you weaken the impact you were designed to carry. You are not weak. You are not incapable. You are not forgotten. But you have been distracted. And distraction is subtle distraction. It slowly erodes focus. It gradually numbs urgency. It convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. Let this moment awaken you. Let this moment shake you. Let this moment confront you. Because comfort has been your cage. Familiarity has been your limitation. And fear has been your excuse. God is not asking you for perfection. He is asking you for surrender. He's asking you for courage. He's asking you to trust Him beyond your emotions. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a decision. There is a door in front of you. You know it. You feel it. You have been staring at it. And you are afraid to knock because you are unsure of what waits on the other side. But stagnation is more dangerous than uncertainty. Regret is heavier than risk. You must move. You must decide. You must rise. Because tomorrow is too late for the version of you that God is calling into existence today. There is a reason your heart is beating faster as you listen. There is a reason something inside you feels exposed. It is because God is turning the light on in places you try to keep dim. And when God shines light, it is not to shame you, it is to show you the exit. You have been living beneath your authority, beneath your discipline, beneath your spiritual sharpness. But today, the fog is lifting. Today, clarity is confronting you. And clarity demands a response. You cannot keep living as if conviction is optional. Conviction is not a suggestion, it is divine direction. When God corrects you, He is protecting your future. When He disturbs your comfort, He is preparing your elevation. The discomfort you feel is not destruction, it is construction. He is building something stronger within you, but construction requires tearing down weak foundations. And some of your foundations have been built on fear of rejection, fear of failure, and fear of losing control. You have tried to control outcomes instead of surrendering to God's wisdom. You have tried to secure your own path instead of trusting His timing. But control is a heavy burden. It exhausts your spirit. It drains your joy. It makes you anxious because you were never designed to carry what belongs to God. When you release control, you do not become weak, you become aligned. And alignment is where power flows. There are battles you keep fighting that God never told you to engage in. You are exhausting yourself proving points that do not matter. You are defending your ego instead of protecting your peace. You are holding grudges that are poisoning your own spirit. Let it go. Release what God did not assign to you. Some arguments are distractions. Some relationships are delays. Some environments are silent traps. And the longer you stay, the more your vision blurs. I must speak to the part of you that has grown comfortable with partial obedience. Partial obedience is still disobedience. You cannot obey God halfway and expect full results. You cannot surrender one area while guarding another. He requires your whole heart, your whole trust, your whole commitment. The reason your progress feels inconsistent is because your surrender has been inconsistent. But listen carefully, God is merciful. He does not expose you to abandon you. He exposes you to elevate you. When He reveals your weakness, it is because He sees your potential. When He challenges your habits, it is because He sees your capacity. He knows what you are capable of becoming, even when you doubt it. And today He is calling you to stop negotiating with your lower self. You have outgrown the version of you that keeps settling. You have outgrown the excuses. You have outgrown the insecurity that once defined you. But growth requires separation. You cannot step into a higher dimension of faith while clinging to old mindsets. Some of you need to separate from toxic thinking before you separate from toxic people. The battlefield is in your mind. If your thoughts remain small, your life will remain restricted. Your mind must be renewed by truth. You are not limited by your past. You are not confined by your mistakes. You are not defined by the opinions of others. God's vision for you is not fragile. It does not collapse because someone misunderstood you. It does not disappear because you stumbled. It waits for your cooperation. And cooperation requires discipline, not emotion, not hype. Discipline. The reason tomorrow is too late is because discipline cannot be postponed without consequences. Every day you delay building consistency, you strengthen inconsistency. Every day you ignore your spiritual growth, you feed spiritual weakness. What you practice grows. What you ignore decays. Some of you are praying for strength while refusing the habits that produce it. You are asking God for clarity while avoiding the quiet time required to receive it. You are asking for elevation while resisting humility. But elevation without humility becomes destruction. God builds character before He builds platforms. He strengthens roots before He extends branches. If your roots are shallow, your success will not survive storms. Storms are coming not to destroy you, but to reveal you. To reveal whether your trust is real. To reveal whether your faith is stable. To reveal whether your obedience is consistent. And if you prepare now, the storm will not shake you. It will showcase you. It will prove that your foundation is unmovable because it is anchored in God. There is also something you must understand about urgency. It is connected to accountability. One day you will look back at this season and you will either thank God that you responded or you will regret that you delayed. Life is a series of seeds. Every decision plants something. Plant something. Every delay plants something. And seeds do not ask permission before they grow. What are you planting today? Are you planting courage or fear? Are you planting discipline or laziness? Are you planting forgiveness or bitterness? The harvest is inevitable. The only question is whether you will like what grows. You keep waiting for a dramatic turning point, but turning points are created by small, immediate decisions. The moment you choose integrity over compromise, that is a turning point. The moment you choose prayer over distraction, that is a turning point. The moment you choose to apologize instead of justify, that is a turning point. Transformation does not announce itself with noise. It begins quietly with conviction. There are people who will not understand the urgency in you. They will call you extreme. They will say you are doing too much. They will question why you are changing. But they do not feel the weight you feel. They do not see what God is revealing to you. When God calls you higher, not everyone will follow, and that is acceptable. You are not called to be understood by everyone. You are called to be obedient to God. Stop shrinking yourself to maintain comfort. Stop dimming your discipline to avoid intimidating others. Stop apologizing for your growth. When you rise, you give others permission to rise. When you stand firm, you create space for others to find courage. Your transformation is not selfish, it is influential. And let me confront something deeper. Some of you are afraid that if you fully surrender, God will take away what you love. But God is not a thief of joy. He is the source of it. If He removes something, it is because it was limiting you. If He closes a door, it is because it was shrinking you. Trust His wisdom more than your attachments. Attachments can become idols in your heart, subtle, quiet replacements for trust. When you depend more on people, money, or validation than on God, your stability becomes fragile. But when your foundation is God alone, nothing external can truly collapse you. You may be shaken, but you will not be destroyed. You must also confront the fear of starting over. Some of you need a fresh beginning, but pride is holding you hostage. You do not want to admit you are wrong. You do not want to look inexperienced. You do not want to appear weak. But humility is strength under control. Starting over is not failure, it is wisdom when you recognize you were headed in the wrong direction. God honors humility. He lifts those who acknowledge their need for Him. The strongest people are not those who never fall, they are those who rise quickly when corrected. Delay in repentance hardens the heart. Immediate response softens it. And a soft heart is fertile ground for growth. There is greatness in you, but greatness requires urgency. Mediocrity can wait. Excellence cannot. Purpose cannot. Destiny cannot. The version of you that God sees is disciplined, courageous, focused, spiritually alert, and unshakably faithful. But that version is waiting for your cooperation. Stop underestimating the power of today. Today is heavy with possibility. Today carries divine opportunity. Today is loaded with decisions that can alter your trajectory. If you treat today casually, you treat your future carelessly. God is calling you to intensity, not chaos, but intentional intensity, focused faith, strategic obedience, deliberate growth. You cannot drift into purpose. You must walk into it. You cannot become disciplined. You must decide to be. You cannot stumble into spiritual maturity. You must pursue it. And pursuit requires hunger. Are you hungry for growth? Are you hungry for righteousness? Are you hungry for alignment? Hunger changes behavior. When you are truly hungry, you move. You search, you sacrifice. If your spirit has been passive, ask God to restore your hunger. Because once hunger returns, complacency dies. Once hunger awakens, procrastination loses power. Once hunger ignites, tomorrow loses its deception. You are closer than you think, closer to breakthrough, closer to clarity, closer to freedom. But closeness is not possession. You must step forward to receive what is near. I am speaking urgently because delay has already cost you enough. Lost time, lost opportunities, lost peace. Do not let this be another moment you nod at and ignore. Let it be the moment you decide. Decide to pray deeper. Decide to forgive quickly. Decide to discipline your habits. Decide to guard your words. Decide to trust God without conditions. Decide to act while conviction is strong. Because conviction fades when ignored, and I refuse to let you walk away unchanged while God is clearly calling you higher. The clock is moving, your life is unfolding, and heaven is watching how you respond to this moment. There are seasons when God whispers, and there are seasons when He shakes. This is not a whispering season for you. This is a shaking season. The comfort you once relied on is trembling. The excuses you once defended are losing their strength. The distractions that entertained you are beginning to feel empty. That is not coincidence. That is divine interruption. God is interrupting the cycle before it becomes permanent. You must understand that delay is not neutral. Delay reshapes your character. Delay trains your spirit to tolerate disobedience. Every time you ignore what God places in your heart, you build resistance against your own growth. And resistance, if repeated long enough, becomes hardness. A hardened heart does not happen overnight. It forms slowly, decision by decision, excuse by excuse, tomorrow by tomorrow. But today your heart is still responsive. Today you still feel conviction. Today you still recognize the urgency. That means mercy is active. That means God has not left you to your own stubbornness. He is still reaching. He is still correcting. He is still inviting you back into alignment. There is also something deeper at work. God is refining your identity. Many of you have defined yourselves by your wounds. You speak more about what hurt you than what God is building in you. You identify more with betrayal than with purpose. But you cannot walk powerfully into the future while dragging a victim mindset behind you. Pain may have touched you, but it does not own you. What God says about you outweighs what life has done to you. You are not a product of your disappointment. You are a vessel of divine intention. Tension requires movement. God did not create you to merely survive. He created you to influence, to build, to reflect integrity, to carry light into dark spaces. But light cannot shine if it is hidden under fear. It cannot expand if it is suffocated by compromise. Some of you are exhausted not because life is heavy, but because you are divided internally. One part of you wants to obey fully. Another part of you wants to stay comfortable. One part wants discipline. Another part wants indulgence. That inner division drains your strength. When you decide firmly for God, your energy aligns. When your heart is undivided, your steps become steady. You must make a clear decision, not an emotional reaction, not a temporary surge, a decision anchored in conviction. God honors decisive hearts. When you stand firmly and say, I will obey, strength meets you, clarity meets you, peace meets you. But when you remain undecided, confusion multiplies. I must also speak about your environment. Some of you are praying for change while refusing to change what surrounds you. You cannot heal in the same atmosphere that wounded you. You cannot grow in spaces that celebrate mediocrity. You cannot strengthen your spirit while feeding it constant negativity. Guard your environment. Protect your focus. Be intentional about what enters your mind. Words matter. Conversations matter. What you listen to daily shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your decisions. If you constantly absorb doubt, you will hesitate. If you constantly absorb fear, you will shrink. But if you immerse yourself in truth and remembrance of God, your courage expands, your spirit steadies, your perspective shifts. There is also a discipline of silence you must learn. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Sometimes God calls you to move quietly, to build quietly, to pray quietly. Your progress does not require announcement. In fact, some breakthroughs are protected by privacy. The more you seek validation from people, the less sensitive you become to divine direction. Let your confidence come from God alone. Human applause fades. Human criticism fluctuates. But when you know that you are aligned with God, you walk differently. You speak differently. You endure differently. You are no longer desperate for approval because you are secure in purpose. And hear this clearly. The cost of obedience may be uncomfortable, but the cost of disobedience is devastating. Obedience may require sacrifice. It may require letting go of pride. It may require changing habits that feel familiar. But disobedience slowly steals your peace. It quietly robs your joy. It weakens your spiritual authority. Authority is built through consistency. Every time you obey quickly, your spiritual authority strengthens. Every time you resist temptation, your integrity deepens. Every time you choose righteousness over convenience, you fortify your character. Character is not formed. In dramatic moments, it is forged in daily decisions. Some of you are waiting for God to remove temptation entirely, but growth often happens in resistance. When you choose what is right despite pressure, you mature. When you stand firm despite difficulty, you expand. Difficulty is not evidence that God is absent. Sometimes it is evidence that He trusts you to grow through it. Do not misunderstand hardship as abandonment. God is closer in your testing than you realize. He watches how you respond. He observes your choices. He sees whether you will remain faithful when outcomes are uncertain. And every faithful response writes strength into your spirit. There is also a divine timing you must respect. Urgency does not mean panic. It means responsiveness. When God signals action, move. When He signals patience, wait with trust. Discernment is crucial. That is why intimacy with God matters. You cannot discern His timing if you are constantly distracted. Make space daily for reflection. Examine your motives. Ask yourself honestly, am I aligned? Am I delaying something I already know I should do? Am I compromising in areas I once stood firm? Self-examination under God's light prevents self-deception. Self-deception is dangerous because it convinces you that you are progressing while you are drifting. It tells you that small compromises do not matter. It tells you that you can always fix things later. But drift is subtle. You rarely notice it until you are far from where you intended. To be, anchor yourself, anchor your routines, anchor your thoughts, anchor your priorities in God. When storms rise on, your anchor determines your stability. Without it, you are moved by every opinion, every emotion, every trend. With it, you remain steady. You must also release comparison. Comparison distorts urgency. When you measure yourself against others, you either become prideful or discouraged. Both are distractions. God's plan for you is unique. Your timing is specific. Your calling is tailored. Focus on your lane. Run your race. Obey your instruction. And understand this, your private discipline shapes your public impact. What you do when no one sees you matters more than what you display when everyone watches. God examines the unseen. He strengthens what is hidden before revealing it openly. If you cannot be faithful in secret, you will not be stable in exposure. This is a refining moment, a defining moment, a separating moment. You are being separated from all patterns, all fears, all limitations. It may feel uncomfortable because separation often does. But separation precedes elevation. God removes what cannot accompany you into your next dimension. Trust the process, but do not delay your participation in it. God will not force your growth. He invites it, He convicts you, He nudges you, but you must respond. Let this be the day you stop negotiating with weakness. Let this be the day you confront laziness. Let this be the day you forgive completely. Let this be the day you commit fully, not halfway, not temporarily, fully. You are created with intention, you are sustained with mercy, you are called with purpose, and you are being addressed right now because God refuses to let you settle for less than what He designed. Stand up internally, strengthen your resolve, silence the excuses, dismiss the fear, reject the lie that you have time to waste. You do not, but you do have this moment, and this moment is enough to begin everything differently if you choose to answer God without delay. Now hear me with the full weight of everything that has been spoken into your spirit. This is not just another message. This is not just another emotional surge that fades when the moment ends. This is a line being drawn in your life. This is a divine confrontation with delay. This is the hour where hesitation loses its power and obedience takes its place. You have been warned, you have been awakened, you have been reminded, and now you must decide. God has been patient with you, patient with your doubts, patient with your cycles, patient with your excuses. But His patience is not permission to remain the same. His mercy is not an invitation to postpone transformation. His grace is empowerment for immediate change. If He has brought you this far, if He has preserved you through storms you thought would break you, if He has sustained you when you felt weak, it is because your life carries purpose that cannot be wasted. Tomorrow is too late. Because tomorrow is not where your power lives. Your power lives in now. Your obedience lives in now. Your courage lives in now. The breath in your lungs is proof that God has given you this moment as a gift. And gifts are not meant to be ignored, they are meant to be used. Do not walk away unchanged. Do not nod in agreement and return to the same patterns. Let something shift permanently inside you. Let there be a holy resolve in your heart that says, I will not delay what God is calling me to do. I will not postpone my growth. I will not negotiate with compromise. I will rise. Rise in discipline, rise in integrity, rise in prayer, rise in focus, rise in surrender. Let your life become evidence that when God speaks, you respond. Let your actions prove that conviction is not wasted on you. Let your transformation silence every doubt that once surrounded you. You are not powerless. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are being called forward. And the urgency you feel is divine love refusing to let you drift into mediocrity. God is pulling you out of complacency and into clarity, out of fear and into faith, out of delay and into decisive obedience. This is your turning point. This is your awakening. This is the moment where excuses die and purpose lives. You cannot control yesterday. You are not promised tomorrow, but you own this decision. Choose alignment, choose discipline, choose surrender, choose courage, choose God without hesitation, because when you stand before Him one day, you will not regret the risks you took in obedience. You will not regret the pride you surrendered. You will not regret the habits you broke. You will only regret the moments you ignored His voice. Do not let this be one of them.